Now, Harrison's next visit to the Mondschak was 2 years later in 2002. Now, he describes how Demdi had married a woman who was ethnically half Mondschak and half Mongolian, but who was monolingual in the Mongolian language, so she only spoke Mongolian, not Mondschak. In Demdi's family, Demdi still spoke to his father in Mondschak, but he spoke Mongolian to his 1-year-old son. So this family illustrates quite neatly the language shift from one generation to the next. Now, language shift, as defined by Harrison, is a process by which young people in a community choose not to speak the ancestral language and opt for the dominant national language. It is the older generation who feel their wider family's loss of their ancestral language. As a result of such a shift, Mondschak will die out within about 50 years. That's the estimated time frame. Harrison's latest report on the Mondschak describes how about 200 people, in other words, about a third of the Mondschak community, have migrated and now live around the edges of the Mongolian capital, Ulaanbaatar. They've given up their traditional existence. They work hard for low pay and indeed work particularly hard to blend in with Mongolian society. Harrison argues that land, livelihood and language are intimately connected. What he means is when a language dies, cultural knowledge is also lost. In other words, through the process of urbanization, the Mondschaks will lose their ancestral language and aspects of their history, and so on. His conclusion is that with the spread of globalization and urbanization, the nomadic tongue of the Mondschak will soon die out, and with it will die out their cultural heritage, their songs, and oral history which have never been written down. The story is a familiar one. As the older generation die off, the younger generation does not continue using their ancestral language. They're more likely to blend in with the wider community where they live and speak that language instead. And that really is our main conclusion. So what these case studies have shown is how simple stories of people can illustrate a much wider phenomenon, the death of most of the world's languages, and with this, the erosion of human knowledge.